basic part of exploratory analysis. So if you conduct any exploratory study, for example, if you want to explore the nature of banking system of a country, if you want to explore the education system of a country, if you want to explore the health system of a country, like that, then at the initial stage, in addition to the presentation of mean variance and covariance, etc., that is basic statistics of the indicators, you need to explore the clusters in terms of the indicators of the system. So cluster analysis is a exploratory analysis, like the factor analysis. So I think you know the factor analysis with the help of SPSS. Do you know it? Anybody can reply.
Sir,
Yes.
tomorrow factor analysis will be done.
Okay. No problem. Then no problem. No problem. So it is not necessary that you have to know what is factor analysis to understand the cluster analysis. So actually, cluster analysis is nothing but the clustering of the objects or different entity. For example, states, districts of a country, or different schools, hospitals, like that. So if I give an example, suppose you want to explore the nature of education system of a particular district, say Bardhaman, say Birbhum, then you need to collect data from the schools because you want to explore the nature of education system of the particular district, say Birbhum. Then you may collect the number of secondary level schools, number of primary level schools in each block of the district. And secondly, you may collect the number of teachers, that is teacher students ratio, number of non-teaching staffs, number of buildings. So there are different indicators of education system, at least in terms of quantitative measure. Forget about the qualitative measures. If you want to explore the quantitative infrastructure of education of a particular district, then you need to collect data on different indicators. That part of the education system, say number of secondary school, number of colleges, number of primary schools, number of teachers per students, number of buildings, number of classrooms, etc. So all these things are indicators of the particular thing which is the education system. And what are the objects? If you divide the total district into in respect of blocks, so you may find there are certain number of blocks, say 20. Then you have the 20 objects. Then if you want to categorize the blocks within the district, then what is the procedure? How to rank them? How to distinguish them from one and other? Rather, in cluster analysis, actually we try to make some groups in terms of the particular indicators. In my example, education system is the main objective. I want to explore the nature of education system of a particular district, and we try to collect the data from each blocks. So blocks are the objects. Now we try to understand what are the blocks within a particular group. That is, we want to measure the similarity or dissimilarity among the blocks. So if you brought the example, if you extend the example, suppose you want to make the clusters of the states of India in terms of socioeconomic backwardness, then you have to collect data on water facility, sanitation facility, and poverty, that is income poverty, asset poverty. You have to collect data on housing, you have to collect data on electrification. So there are different indicators are there. If you have only indicator for the particular objective, if you want to understand the similarity and dissimilarity in terms of the electrification of the villages, then it is very easy, right? Because if you find that you can consider a group where 90% of the villages are electrified. This is the first group. Second group, you can consider the villages which where you can consider the states where 80% villages are electrified. Then you consider the states where 70% and above villages are electrified. In that way, you can easily rank them and easily make the group of the states in terms of the electrification. There is no problem. But if you have more than one indicator, then it is very difficult to categorize them in terms of these two indicators, say electrification and sanitation. Right? You may find one state is belonging to a highest group in terms of electrification, but lies in the another group in terms of sanitation. Then the question arises of cluster analysis. So if you have only one indicator for a particular objective, then it is not a problem at all. Just taking the values of the particular indicator, you can categorize the states or categorize the blocks in terms of the particular factor. But if you have more than one indicator for a particular infrastructure, say socioeconomic factor, socioeconomic backwardness, or banking facilities, or educational facilities, or health facilities, then it is problematic to distinguish, to make the groups of the objects in terms of the different indicators, right? If you want to concretize the example, suppose you have one indicator, say electrification. So one axis is needed, right? Suppose there are 29 states, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the states, and these are the ranks in terms of the percentage of villages electrified. So easily you can say that suppose you consider 90% of villages are electrified among these states. Among these states, greater than 50% of villages, 50% villages are electrified, and this is the group where less than 50% villages are electrified. So you can say there are three clusters. So they are similar in terms of electrification. They are similar in terms of electrification. They are similar in terms of electrification. And there is a hierarchy. So this is the advanced group, advanced states in terms of electrification. They are the moderate, and they are the low level of electrification. There are low level of electrification.
স্যার আপনি লাইনে আছেন?
साउंड नहीं आ रहा।
हाँ, उनका कनेक्शन कट गया लग रहा है। ठीक है, मैं देख रहा हूँ। He will back. He's trying to connect net something. तो खुशबू जी,
जी सर।
समझ में आ रहा है कुछ? थोड़ा
जी
बहुत? अगर 10% भी आता है तो काफी है एक वक्त न्यू सब्जेक्ट।
नहीं नहीं सर, उससे ज्यादा आ रहा है सर, समझ रहे हैं सर।
ठीक है, चलिए बढ़िया है।
जी सर, प्रैक्टिस भी सर खुद से कर रहे हैं।
वाह, अब तो तब मुझे चिंता नहीं है। अब आप कर लीजिएगा काम अपना।
लेकिन सर स्लो स्लो बहुत हो रहा है हमसे, वो सर की तरफ फास्ट नहीं हो पा रहा, और कहीं कहीं सर इधर भी हो जाता है। नहीं,
फास्ट कैसे होगा? हर चीज धीरे धीरे पहले होता है, फिर प्रैक्टिस करते करते आप जब हो जाएगा।
जी सर, जी 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 सर।
बस कल का दिन है, फिर आप फ्री हो जाइएगा।
Yes, yes.
हाँ सर, ठीक है जी सर, चले इससे।
Sorry. So if you have two indicators, then you cannot rank them easily. Then corresponding to two indicators, you can get a point, which is the coordinate. Suppose it is the point for West Bengal. That is, there is 70% households have the facility, sanitation facility, and 90% villages are electrified. Similarly, you can define points for different states. Suppose you find this kind of points. This is the scattered diagram for the two indicators. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the scattered diagram. Suppose these are the 29. Then you can easily say that this is a particular group. This is a particular group. This is another group. And this is individual. This is, you can consider this is a particular group. These are nothing but the clustering. This is nothing but the cluster. So with the cluster analysis, you can identify the distinct object, distinct district, or distinct state in this case. This is the distinct case where both the indicators reaches at the complete level. And these are the clusters where both the indicators are at low level. And all these things are clusters. Then what is the definition of cluster? So cluster is nothing but the group of objects. In my example, group of states which are similar in terms of the indicator, which are similar in terms of the indicator, not the in terms of one indicator, in terms of the both the indicators, that is in respect of the number of indicators. It is possible to draw this cluster if you have at most 2 indicators. But if you have a more than 2 indicators, say 3 indicators, it is not possible to plot this scatter point on the board. You have to imagine. Then you need actually 3-dimensional graph where you can plot the coordinate in respect of the 3 indicators, right? So if you understand the fact in terms of 2 indicators, then you can extend it easily, right? So in cluster analysis, the main objective is to classify the objects. Here objects are states of India, or in my first example, blocks of the Birbhum district. So classify the objects in terms of the indicators, not the single indicator. If you have any single indicator for the single factor, then it is not needed for this kind of analysis. If you have at least 2 indicators, then cluster analysis is meaningful. If you have only one variable, then from the values of the variable you can easily classify them. But if you have more than one indicator, then you need to classify the district. So what is the definition of cluster? Cluster is the group of objects which are homogeneous as far as possible within the group and which are heterogeneous, that is dissimilar as far as possible between the group. So cluster is a group of objects where objects are very much close to each other. That is, in cluster analysis, we measure the closeness of the objects, closeness in terms of the indicators. Or theoretically, you will say they are homogeneous in terms of the indicators. So therefore, to derive the number of clusters for a number of objects, you have to maximize the homogeneity within the group, and at the same time you have to maximize the heterogeneity among the group, between the group. Therefore, you can say that cluster is nothing but the number of objects, that is grouping of the objects, where objects are similar as far as possible within the group and different as far as possible between the group. This is the basic definition of cluster. So cluster is nothing but the group of individuals. That means you cannot group them like that. You cannot say this is the group, this is the group, this is the group. Not that. Here groups are determined in such a way where closeness of the objects is maximum, closeness, and dissimilarity is maximum between the groups. So how do you determine the similarities? How do you determine the closeness? How do you determine the dissimilarities? Or how do you determine the heterogeneity? This is the main problem of cluster analysis. So why do we go for cluster analysis? So first objective is to explore the nature of distribution of the particular infrastructure, say education infrastructure, banking infrastructure, or health infrastructure, like that. We explore the nature of distribution. For example, if you consider the case of West Bengal, we say that this is North Bengal, this is South Bengal, this is Jungle Mahal, this is urban zone, right? So this is also the clusters in terms of geographical factor. There is some similarities between the district in terms of their geographical nature. So actually in nature there is some clusters which is called geographical cluster. So
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir, cluster analysis is done where the data are uncorrelated.
It is not necessary, but usually if you want to consider the hierarchical clustering, it is necessary. if they are correlated, then you can easily take them as a one variable, single variable,
Oh.
right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have two variables. Say, suppose you have two variables. One is the percentage of villages electrified, and another is the percentage of villages not electrified. They are very much correlated. Actually, they are same thing. Is it clear? Then
Okay.
it is not
Actually,
needed
actually, sir, you have already said that there are dissimilarities between two groups. So it indicates the we cannot say that it is positively correlated or negatively correlated.
No. Actually, indicators must be in unidirectional. All indicators may be negatively indicated when you consider the deprivation index. If you consider the achievement index, suppose if you want to categorize the states in terms of the backwardness, then higher value gives the higher level of backwardness. Then all variables, higher values indicates the more backwardness, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Clear? This is
Understand.
different thing.
Understand.
If
Okay.
variables are highly correlated, that means they are associated already. That is, you may consider only one of them. Then it is not needed at all. If you have one dimension only, then from the values of the variable, you can easily classify them. Makes sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, but if they are, that is why if you find that indicators are highly correlated, then you have to go for factor analysis first. Then you have to determine the factors which are not correlated at all.
Okay,
Right?
sir. Okay, sir.
So what is the case? This will not arise if two variables are highly correlated. That means if they are positively correlated, you will find them in such a manner. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
There is no possibility of this kind of dispersion.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what
Okay,
is the
sir.
meaning that you can easily say that these are the clusters.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Therefore, if they are highly correlated,
Mm.
actually in
Yes, sir.
statistics you will find some correlation. If they are highly correlated, then you should avoid the cluster analysis without factor analysis.
Okay, sir.
Still, if you want to rank them, then you have to consider the indicators and go for factor analysis, which gives you the factors which are really uncorrelated.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
Then
sir.
you arrange the factor
Yes,
analysis,
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
cluster analysis considering the factors instead of the indicators.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Interesting question. Now, where I was?
You were discussing about the objectives of the cluster analysis.
Yes. So my first objective is to classify the factors. So there are actually already geographical clusters in nature. That is, suppose North Bengal, South Bengal, etc., Jungle Mahal. But are you sure all the districts are similar in the Jungle Mahal in terms of sanitization or electrification? You may find that some districts in North Bengal are similar with the district of Jungle Mahal in terms of electrification. You may find. So that is why it is necessary. So therefore, you should not take any policy just considering the geographical clusters that already exist in nature. Right? Suppose we are saying we want to take some policies for tribals, then immediately I will say you should take some policies for the districts in Jungle Mahal. But you don't forget that majority of the population in Jalpaiguri districts are belonging to tribal community. So they are similar in terms of the social factor, not only the geographical factor. That is why it is needed. So if you want to cluster the districts in West Bengal in terms of socioeconomic backwardness, you may find some districts in Jangalmahal is similar with the district in North Bengal. Is it possible? Because they are similar in terms of the indicators of socioeconomic backwardness. Right? So geographical clusters. Similarly, if you consider the case of India, we know that eastern part of India, southeastern part of India, northeastern part of India, southern part of India, like that. These are the geographical clusters which already exist in the nature. Now we are interested to understand, are the states in southern India are similar in terms of banking infrastructure? Are the districts in northern India, are the states in northern India are similar in terms of banking infrastructure? May be true, may not be true. If it is true, then you can take some policies in terms of geographical cluster. But if you find there are some difference, then you should consider the socioeconomic clusters of the states in India to improve the banking infrastructure or to improve the socioeconomic backwardness position of the states. Is it clear? So this is the first objective. And second objective is to understand, identify the outlier in the, suppose you want to understand the interrelationship between the financial infrastructure and the economic growth, right? Then you should avoid some outlier, say Andaman and Nicobar, where you may find that in terms of population, banking infrastructure is totally developed, but you find that there is low level of economic growth. That is why before going to analyze the relationship between economic growth and banking infrastructure, you should delete the outlier, because it makes some noise in your analysis. Because in econometrics, you know that you are always going to averaging all these things. So therefore, extreme values highly affect the mean values. So you should identify which are the outliers. So suppose you will find that is the point. So in order to identify the outliers in terms of the indicators, or you may identify the excellence. Suppose this is the district, this is the state or district which is excellent in terms of these two indicators. So in order to identify the excellence, in order to identify the totally noise data set, or you want to identify the clusters who are homogeneous in terms of the indicators, who are the dissimilar, and how much they are different from each other. This is the objective of cluster analysis, right? Now, second question is, how do you measure the clusters? How do you measure the similarity among the objects? So you know that, I think, Euclidean distance. Do you know it? Euclidean distance of 2 points. Anybody?
No, sir.
Yes? Who is speaking? Please. Hello?
No, sir. Please explain it.
No, sir, no.
Not at all. Euclidean distance. So distance between 2 points in a graph, do you know it? Pythagoras theorem. So to measure the similarity, there are 3 methods. One is the distance method. You have to compute the distance between these 2 points, or you need to consider the correlation coefficient. If you find the high correlation coefficient, then you say that they are highly associated. But we do not go for correlation analysis, rather we consider the distance measure of similarity. If you find the distance is very low, that is if you suppose the 2 points A and B, how do you measure this distance in this graph? Suppose this is y-axis and this is x-axis. How do you measure the distance between these 2 points? Varun?
Sorry, sir.
Varun, is it possible to measure the distance between A and B? Suppose this is 5 5,20 and this is 8,25 B. Can you measure the distance between these 2 points?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এখানে
Yes.
আমাদের ট্রায়াঙ্গেলের মতো একটা আসবে,
Yeah, very good.
ট্রায়াঙ্গেল
No,
আসবে
no,
এবং সেখান থেকে ফার্স্ট উই গেট ইফ উই ড্র ভার্টিক্যাল লাইনস ফ্রম
Very good.
A and B, then
Yes.
and
Then,
from A to the
right. Then
we get a triangle, and from that we use the
Yes.
Pythagoras theorem.
Yes, this is nothing but the Euclidean distance in case of, in general case, right? So this is the hypotenuse, this is the height, this is the base,
Yes.
right?
Hypotenuse square is the base square plus height square.
Yes. So this is nothing but the just a AB square. AB square is equal to, say, suppose it is C, right? AB square is equal to simply this is C, then AC square plus BC square. That is AB is equal to root over AC square plus BC square. This is the distance between A and B. Is it clear or no? Varun,
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. This is called Euclidean distance. AB is equal to root over AC square plus BC square. Right? So if I want to write the things in general case, suppose you have 2 points x11, x12. This is the coordinate of say A point. This is the B point. Say x21, x22. Then the difference distance between these 2 points, simply x11 minus x21 square minus x12 minus x22 square root over. Is it clear or not?
স্যার x1 পয়েন্টের সঙ্গে x1 করা হলো আর x2 পয়েন্টের সঙ্গে x2, এই x1 এর প্রথমটার সঙ্গে x2 এর প্রথমটা,
হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ জাস্ট এটা করা হয়েছে।
is the difference minus is the difference.
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
So just imagine I have drawn it and say A and B. This is the B point, this is the A point. Say x11, x12, this is x21, x2. Right? So this is x11, x12. Right? So here x11 in this point, this is nothing but x21 minus x11. BC, suppose BC is nothing but x21, no, x22 x22 minus x12. Suppose this is x value, this is y value, this is x value, this is y value. So BC is nothing but CB is nothing but x21. x21 means this one minus x12 CB means 22 minus 22 minus 1 2, right? 22 minus 1 2. Is it clear or not? This is x21 x22 x11 x12. So CB is nothing but x22, that is x22, right, minus x12, right? Varun,
Yes, sir.
and what is AC? AC is equal to equal to x21 minus x11. Is it clear or not? This is AC. So therefore AB square, using Pythagoras theorem, AB square is equal to AC square plus BC square. Therefore x21 minus x11 whole square plus x22 minus x12 square. Is it clear? Are this same? That is AB is equal to root over this thing. Are this same?
यस सर, क्लियर सर. सर स्क्वायर उधर रूट में कन्वर्ट हो गया ना?
Square. Yes.
जी जी, स्क्वायर रूट में कन्वर्ट हो गया उधर जाकर.
Yes.
यस जी सर.
Okay. And these are same because x21 minus x11 whole square is nothing but the x21 minus x11 whole square are same thing. Right? So therefore, if you have only two indicators, then this is the distance. This is the distance. So if you have three indicators or four indicators, so you can write AB, that is distance between A and B is nothing but root over simply x21 minus x11 whole square plus x22 minus x12 whole square, right? AB. This is the distance. Or you can write it in general case, say distance between I and J, 2 points instead of AB, you can write root over summation x ij x xij You can write it in that way. Due to xi 1 1 2 1 1 2 I am G. A minus x jk jk square I k1 to k1 to k1 to. Can I write in that way? Check it. Because here I is 2 to 1 1, j is 1 1, k 1 2. When k is equal to 1, then I1 minus j1 whole square plus I1 I means say I2 and I j2. Is it clear or not? This is the difference between I and j. Because if you split it, you will get this thing. J is equal to I is equal to maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 1 and 2. I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 1 and 2. Rajiv, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, oh.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, if k is 2, then k is running from 2 to 1 to 2. But if you consider say 5 indicators, not 2, then you can only generalize it is k1 to 5. So if you consider k indicators, then it is 1 to k1 to capital K, 1 to capital K. If you consider k number of indicators, then you cannot get the distance between 2 points, right? Whether you will get the to ij to object, and you want to compute the distance in terms of the k indicators, not only the 2 indicators. This is the Euclidean distance. Suppose you want to consider the 4-dimensional point. So here is a point, another is a simply you cannot compute the distance of these 2 points, but drawing the hypotenuse. Rather, you have to imagine, and this is the Euclidean distance formula. That is root over of k1 to capital K. Say k is equal to n. N indicators are there. Root over k1 to n xik minus xjk. If k is equal to 2, then you will get this formula. Right? This is the Euclidean distance. So now, if you want to, after compute the all possible distance, suppose if you consider this thing, then to determine the clusters, first you compute the all possible distance, right? All possible distance among the objects, right? So first step is that you compute the Euclidean distance of the all possible pairs of the objects. That is distance from West Bengal to Gujarat, distance from West Bengal to Assam, West Bengal to Kerala, West Bengal to Bihar, like that, right? Not the geographical distance in terms of the indicators that you have considered. Say if you open the data set, so in terms of the number of bank accounts, you compute the distance between Bihar and Jharkhand. It may be higher compared to the distance between Maharashtra and West Bengal. Is it clear? So first step to compute the cluster, you have to compute the all possible distance. Then you consider two objects for which the distance is minimum. Suppose this is the minimum distance. Then you say these are falling in a particular cluster. And you find the second smallest distance is this one. So then you say they are also in a cluster. Then you compare these two. Suppose another distance, this one. These two objects are in a cluster. So in that way, first you imagine that all states are different clusters. They are different. Then after computing the Euclidean distance, you will get that West Bengal and say Assam are in this position. Distance between these two in terms of electrification and in terms of sanitation, their distance is smallest enough. Then you can say they are in a particular cluster. After that, you find that Jharkhand and Bihar are similar in terms of these two indicators. Then you say they are in another cluster. Then compare the distance between these two clusters, because you will say the next time these two clusters within a cluster. If you consider the length of dissimilarities, so if you stick in this position, they are similar and they are similar. If you allow some dissimilarities, allow some extent of dissimilarities, then you can say both states are in a same cluster. Then you compute the distance between these two clusters. To compute the distance between these two clusters, again you have to calculate the centroid of this distance, centroid of this cluster, of this distance, of these 2 points. What is the center? Simply average. Suppose it is x11 and x11 and x21, x12, x21 and x22. Then if you take the average of these two, then you find the x value of the centroid of this series, and if you take the average of these two, you will get the centroid of this cluster. In that way, you compute the centroid of the cluster, and similarly you will calculate the centroid of the cluster. Then calculate the distance of this centroid. Then you find the distance between the cluster. Then again you compute the all possible distance of the clusters. Then you consider the smallest distance. Then you consider the same thing. So I will start with a very numerical example. That you may find in my slide. Suppose you have a data for 6 objects. Say teacher. 6 teachers. Say 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, A. with research experience of year, say 2 to 8, 3, 3, 6, 8, 8 years and 10 years. And teaching experience is 8 years, 15 years, 6 years, 9 years, 7 years and 10 years. So you want to categorize the teachers in terms of their skill in teaching and skill in research, right? Two different skills, and they are measured in terms of year of experience, right? Then simply there are two indicators. You cannot say F is better than A, although they are same compared to A. In that sense, you can say F is better than this one. But if you want to compute the similarities between F and E, or F and D, F and C, F and B, you cannot say from this initial data sets. Whether if you want to plot them in a graph, that is scatter plot, then you will find say this is teaching experience and this is research experience. So this is 2.8. This is 2.8, 2.8, and this is 3.6. That's 8.15. 8.15 here. 8.15. A. This is A. This is B. And C is 3.6. 3.6. This is C. And then 6.9. 6.9. 6.9 here. Here, then 8.7, 8.7, 8.7, and 10.10. 10.10. Fine. I need to plot here.
Sir, why we can't use here general average method? Because 23 is the highest.
Yes.
So why cannot we use the general average method here?
That is, first you calculate the average between these two. So
can we ব্যবহার করতে পারবো না?
No. If you say that in average method, you are considering that both the things are perfectly substitute. Perfectly substitute. What is the meaning of this thing? Suppose you are saying that is you are saying that first you consider 2 and 6. 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Right? 2 and 6, and then you consider 6 and 2. That means according to you both are same. Is it true?
Yeah.
Is it true? Because average of these two is 4 and it is also 4. That is, you are saying they are similar.
Okay.
You are saying they are similar. That in that case, actually, if you consider the average method, that is, you are saying both the indicators are perfectly substitute.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Understand
the point.
Yes. Are you getting my point?
I understand the point, sir.
Okay. So we do not consider this thing. Rather, we should consider the geometric mean, where we give some importance on the on the complementarity, right? Point is that without sanitation, if you have 100% electrification, doesn't matter. If you have no any sanitation, still you are backward. But your average method, you are say that you are in an average position, but it is not that, not at all. Like,
Okay.
right? So my point is here that so it is 2.8, 2,8, A, then 8,15, then 10,10, then 8,7, then 3,6, and 6,9. Right? So A, 3,6, 6,9 is 4. B, 6,7, 8,75. E, 6,10, 10,10 is F, 8,7. 26A, 815. 815 is B, right? 815 is B. Then C is C, D, E, F. So you can calculate the things that is difference between A and C. A and C difference is A and C is 2.23. AB difference is 2.236. Because difference AC is equal to AC is equal to root over of 2 minus 3, that is 1 square, plus 2 square, that is 1 plus 4 root over 5. Is it clear? This is 2.236. This is the lowest distance, right? So initially you say that A and C are in a cluster. A and C are in a cluster with distance 2.236. 2.236. A and C. Now 4 and 5, that is D and E. D and E. If you compute the distance, it is 2 square plus 2 square. That is root over 8. This is equal to 2.828. Check it, you may check it. Then you find the distance between D and E. 2.8288. Right? Next you compute. So therefore, after considering the lowest distance, you will say AC is in a cluster, DE are in a cluster. So and the second stage, in the first stage, if you find this, if you only consider the minimum distance, only the minimum distance to measure the similarity, then you say A and C are similar. So your cluster is AC, then B, B, D, E, and F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters are there. This is the first step. In the first step, you consider only the smallest distance. If you compute the all possible distance, you will find this is the smallest distance. AB, AC, AD, AE, AF. Then BE, that is 6C2. How many pairs are there? If you do not consider, if you consider the order of arrangement have some meaning, that is AB, BA the same. So it is nothing but the number of distance would be 6C2. Right. After that, you will find this is the minimum distance. You can check it. Software will give you the all possible distance, and arrangement of the all possible distance of the objects is called the proximity matrix. I will show you in software. It is called proximity matrix. Proximity matrix is nothing but the all possible distance between the all possible pairs of the objects in terms of the indicators. In my graphical analysis, only we have considered 2 indicators, but in software, when we consider the 6 variables, then it will gives you the distance between the objects in terms of the 6 indicators. So, second stage, you will find AB, AC in a cluster and DE in a cluster and B distinct, DE, F distinct. So there are 4 clusters in the second step. Right? Now third step, in the third step, you will find the distance between F and this one. This distance is greater than this one. So 6 will similar with D and E. So what is it? It is the centroid. It is the centroid. That is center. How do you compute it? What is the coordinate of this point? It is not the mid value. It is not the mid value. It is nothing but the average of X coefficient and average of Y coefficient. That is 6 plus 8. That is 7. Average of 6 and 8 is 7. It is 7, 9 and 7. Average of 9 and 7 is equal to 8. 7, 8. So it is the 7 and 8 is nothing but the centroid. Centroid. Centroid of D and E. With the centroid of D and E is 7, 8. Now compute the distance between F and centroid of D and E. Then you find that this is the third smallest distance among these things. Then you only say in the third stage, you will say AC within a group and D, E and F in a group and B is distinct. Then you will find the 3 clusters. So from this analysis, you will say B is somehow distinct among them. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now we open the data set. Then I share my screen only. Okay. So here I have considered the absolute distance, but it is very difficult to present the absolute distance if you have a very large quantitative variable. That is why sometimes we consider the relative distance. That is, you can rescale the indicators. So you know that range equalization normalization, you know it. Do you know that Z-score? Z-score is nothing but the standardization of the variable. You can do the standardization just making the series in between 0 and 1. This is called range equalization standardization. That are used in case of human development index measure. That is actual minus minimum divided by maximum minus minimum. It is called range equalization standardization of the series. So that is why distance may be absolute, may not be absolute. Because if you consider absolute distance, then it is difficult to interpret because different indicators may have different units. Right? That is why to make the indicators unit free, we need to make them in a standard form, standardize the system. Then automatically you will get the relative distance. So there is no problem at all. You will get the same result. Right? So we will handle the data now. So if you have the data set, just open it in SPSS environment. I think you can import it. So one point should be clear here that here I am only explain the hierarchical clustering methodology, not the non-hierarchical methodology, because actually you can study the cluster analysis considering the hierarchical. There are different types of clustering. One is the hierarchical clustering. It is applicable only when number of objects is not very large. Here, if you consider the number of states in India, number of districts of a particular state, number of blocks in a particular district, etc. In that case, number of objects is small. If the number of objects is very large, then hierarchical clustering is not applicable at all. Second assumption is that here values of the indicators are quantitative. There is no any qualitative measure. That is, there is no any dummy variable. There is no categorical indicator. Right? All the indicators are quantitative. So if the indicators are quantitative and the number of objects is not very large, basically if it is better if it is less than 30, then we should consider hierarchical clustering procedure. But you know that you should know it that if you want to handle the categorical data and very large number of objects, then you should consider another methodology which is called K-mean clustering. It is applicable in case of large number of objects and the variables are quantitative. So hierarchical methodology is applicable when object is less than 30. And rank order clustering is applicable when indicators are qualitative, that is categorical values. And finally, two-step clustering is useful when the indicators are the blend of just categorical variables and quantitative variables. If you find that some variables are quantitative and some variables are qualitative, then you should go for two-step clustering. But within a single class, I will just discuss the hierarchical clustering technology with the help of SPSS. Okay. Just I share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Have you opened it? Anyone reply, please. Just open it in your own machine and follow me. Just a minute, please. So there are two sets of data for Indian states, only states. So there are 29 states after Telangana. So here we have two sets of data, one for the year 2015 and another for the 2019. So if you consider the data set ATM, bank branches, savings account, credit account, and savings net state domestic product ratio and credit net state domestic product ratio for the year 2019. What is the ATM 19? That is number of ATM per lakh adult population in India. This is the number of ATMs per lakh population in India. Sorry, states, particular state. It is the number of ATM per lakh population for particular state. Suppose here, if you consider 29, it is the case of Andhra Pradesh. So in Andhra Pradesh, there are 29 ATMs per lakh adult population. There are 19 bank branches per lakh population in Andhra Pradesh, and there are 2,473 savings bank account per lakh population. Per thousand population. That is number of savings account greater than the number of population. It is possible because one person may have 2-3 multiple account. So it is the per thousand population, number of savings bank account per thousand population. This is the number of credit account or credit card. Credit account or credit card per thousand population. This is 390 only. So accordingly, for each state you will get this data. And this one is the savings income ratio. That is total deposit in this year divided by total net state domestic product. Right? This is the savings income ratio. And this is the credit outstanding ratio. This is 48 per income. That is, it is the ratio between the total outstanding divided by net state domestic product for 2018-19. Is it clear? What is the meaning of data? Hello?
Sir, what is ATM 15, sir?
ATM?
15?
ATM 15 is nothing but the same thing for 2015. If you want to know the clusters for 2015, because all these things are changing over time, you may compare the clusters in 2015, that is at the time of the introduction of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana project, and if you compute the clusters after the implementation of Jan Dhan Yojana, right? So you can compare the clusters. Is there any change in the clusters due to the implementation of Jan Dhan Yojana? Then you may consider two sets of clusters to understand the impact of the policies. Is it clear? Same thing.
Sir. Okay.
These 6 columns represent the indicators of banking infrastructure. That is, first 2 is the dimension of availability of banking infrastructure. Availability of banking infrastructure. That is number of ATM counters and number of bank branches, physical bank branches. And these are the accessibility dimension. That is how much the banking facilities are being accessed by the population of the states. And these are the really utilization of banking infrastructure, that is savings and credit in terms of the total net state domestic product, right? So this is the availability, these two are the accessibility, and these two are the utilization dimension of banking infrastructure. So in terms of financial infrastructure, if you want to make the clusters of the states in terms of the financial infrastructure. Financial infrastructure is not a unidimensional phenomenon. It is a multidimensional phenomenon. So availability is not sufficient, and accessibility is not also sufficient individually, and utilization is also is not sufficient. Actually, it is not possible if the banking system is not available and it is not accessed by the people. So all these things are interrelated, but they are not highly correlated. If you find they are correlated, then you go for factor analysis and compute the factors which are completely uncorrelated. After that, you will go for cluster analysis. We will check it. We will check it. But they are complementary. They are not substitutes. So one is not substitute of other. Rather, they are interlinked. Right. So we are interested to understand the nature of clusters of the states in terms of the data in 2019. Is it clear? So this is all about the data set. Very simple data set, and all these things are available in RBI website. Just only I have computed in a percentage of income, that is per lakh population. I have computed the population for 2019 and 2015 from the projection, right? So all these things are computed data, just collecting the raw data from RBI, right? So now my first objective is to understand whether they are correlated or not. You know, I think how to compute the correlation. So correlation, bivariate correlation. That is, I want to know the bivariate correlation among the indicators. So this is the first variable, and then branch, then savings account, then credit account, then savings and NSDP and credit NSDP. Then variables, just option. So I want to know also the mean and variance, standard deviation, then continue, and then Pearson, because they are all the quantitative factors, quantitative variables, and flag the significant of correlation. So okay. So here we have found that ATM is highly correlated with bank branches and the savings account, but they are not correlated with credit income and savings income ratio. So all these things are not highly correlated at all. There are some correlation still. So you can ignore this correlation because all these things are not highly correlated. Right. Either you can consider ATM instead of branch, or branch not the ATM. So between these two, you can select one of them. Similarly, one of them you can select a savings income, a savings account or credit account. But still you can consider all the indicators. So my objective is to make the clusters of the states in terms of the indicators of banking infrastructure. All these things are achievement factors, because higher the number of bank account means higher level of banking infrastructure. Higher number of ATM counter means higher level of banking infrastructure. All these things are unidirectional, the same direction. They are going in same direction. There is no any negative correlation. It confirms that there is no any negative correlation. If you find any negative correlation, definitely you have to change this variable that indicates the positive indication, not the negative indication. Because when you compute the index or clusters, we consider the variables which are moving in the same direction. That is, all are ascending or all are descending, arranged in ascending or descending. Now, second point is that then we go for cluster analysis. Sometimes some people actually first consider the standardization, that is normalization of the variable to free the variables from units. Rather, there is some option that you can do just considering the classify option. So analyze, then click on classify. So there are two-step clusterings. If you have two kinds of variable, that is categorical and quantitative, then you should go for two-step clustering. K-mean clusterings, if you have large number of objects, it is not true, but we are apply only hierarchical clustering, where objects are less than 30 and a number of indicators are quantitative. So we consider hierarchical clustering option. Then you put the relevant variables: ATM, branch, savings account, credit account, SNSDP and CNSDP. Then we label the cases in terms of states, right? Then statistics. Here agglomeration schedule. Agglomeration schedule gives you the minimum distance in each step. Minimum distance in each step. You can consider the proximity matrix also. Proximity matrix gives you the all possible distances. From where you will select the agglomeration schedule. Beforehand, you do not select the single solution. You want to get the all possible solutions. So you continue with the agglomeration schedule and proximity matrix. Continue. Method. So here between the group linkage, within the group linkage, nested neighbor, forget about that, just between the group linkage. So you want to compare the between the groups. And interval, what is the distance? Definitely we consider the Euclidean distance. Sometimes we may consider the square of Euclidean distance when distances are very very small and very difficult to differentiate between the objects, which distance is small one, right? Then you should consider the square distance. If you find the situation, you may consider the square Euclidean distance, but here it is not applicable because distance are prominent. If you simply consider the Euclidean distance, you will get the things. So standardize. If you want to standardize, then it is okay. You will go Z-score, you the range equalization method. So you can consider none of them. Rather transform the variable absolute distance or change sign. If you want to the relative distance, then you click here. So first you consider the none, then we consider case by case. What is the fact? What is the result? If you change the standardize the variable, then continue. Then save none. Okay, then okay. This is the result of cluster analysis. So first you understand that there are 29 objects, 29 states. This is the proximity matrix. This is a proximity matrix, and all the distance are absolute distance. So definitely distance between Andhra Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh is 0. Diagonal coefficients are 0. It means that distance, this is the same thing. So this is the distance. So if you consider the distance between Andhra Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh, not the physical distance, it is the distance in terms of the indicators. So distance between Andhra Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh is greater than the distance between Andhra Pradesh and Assam, right? So here states are numbered, that is 1 to 29. So this is the proximity matrix. These includes the all possible distance of the all possible pairs of the states in terms of the indicators. So you can produce it in your research paper or not, because it is sufficient. It is the agglomeration schedule. It is the agglomeration schedule. It is initial stage among all the possible distance. Minimum distance is this one, and this is definitely 11 and 27. 11 and 27. Which is the 11? Which is the 11? That is Jharkhand. Jharkhand and 27. Jharkhand is 11, right? 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the 25. So distance is 25. 25 units. This is the minimum distance among all these things. So in the first stage, from the accommodation schedule, you will say that the clusters combined 11 and 27. So who is 27? 27 is Uttar Pradesh. So Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh are similar because distance between these two, Euclidean distance between these two is minimum among the all possible distance, right? Now second lowest distance is 32 among 14 and 29. 29 means West Bengal and 14 means Madhya Pradesh. So Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal are very much similar in terms of banking infrastructure, right? Then 9 and 10. This is 48. So third small value is 9 and 10. Who is 9? Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. So second stage, so first 11, 27, say 14, 29, then 9, 10, then again 11. So then you combine 11, 27 and 14. So again 14 is similar with 29. So you can conclude that 11, 27, 24 and 29 are in a similar cluster. In that way you can determine the number of clusters. So there are easy way if you plot the dendrogram. What is it? So now again if you classify, then plot, click here dendrogram. Okay, then save, no, continue, method, continue, plot, continue. If you want to standardize the variable, because it is difficult to say this kind of difference, distance. If you consider the mean range equalization, then you consider range from 0 to 1. If you want them as index from 0 to 1, then continue. You will get the same thing, but here you find that distance are relative distance, not the absolute. Now in my first case you have found the absolute distance, but as the variables are already standardized, that is all the variables are transformed in such a manner, the range of the variable varies from 0 to 1, then you find the distance also varies from 0 to maximum is 1.2 something, right? So these are the relative distance. Same thing you will find. So again you will find 4 and 27. between the group. Again, you will find that 4, 27 and 4 and 11. Again, 4, 11, 27 are in a same group. From here, you can say that. So this is the reading of the graph. Actually, you may produce the dendrogram only. So here you find that Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand are belonging to the same group because their distance are same. This is the distance and this is the distance. In the second case, West Bengal is distinct at this stage, but second case is 14 and 22. 14 and 22 means this one, 14, 22 and 7. So this is the second group. After that, 14, 22, then 4, 11, then 4 and 11, then 4 and 11 again comes here. So 4 and 11, already 4 is similar with Uttar Pradesh. Now 4 and 11, that is Bihar and Jharkhand are same. So ultimately now you will say distance between Bihar, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh are close to each other, right? And West Bengal is same, 29. Is here, 4 and 29, that is same with Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh. In that way, agglomeration schedule gives you the clusters. So if you want to consider all them in the same cluster, you will consider this umbrella. But after here, you will find that Goa is something totally different from all other states in India in terms of the indicators of banking infrastructure. Is it clear or not? Because there is no similarity between Goa and any other state. If you consider the maximum distance. So if you consider only the maximum distance, then you find that Goa is similar with other. But if you consider the high jump up, how do you determine the exact number of classes? So all these things are distance. So if you consider the high jump in agglomeration schedule, so it is very difficult to see from here. If you consider this one, 25, 32, 48, 49, 50, 51, 64. So there is a high jump. Right? High jump 51 to 64. You can consider this thing. 60, then 67, 68, 85. Again, there is high jump. You may consider 95 to 111. It is another high jump. So there is high jump. So ultimately, this is the case. 271 to 360. 271 to 360 is the high jump in the distance. So what is the case? This is the stage 23, where 8 and 9 are merged. So then in parallelogram, if you consider this kind of jump here, suppose if you consider the dissimilarities up to 10, then under the umbrella, this is the stem, after these are the leaf. So if you consider this jump, then if you have three hands, one is Goa exclusively and Maharashtra second hand, and under the third hand are all other states. If you consider the jump here, then you will find the cluster Goa single, Maharashtra single, and Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Haryana and Andhra Pradesh are in the same umbrella. And after that, Sikkim, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Tripura, and all these things up to here, all these things are under the same cluster. If you want to increase the number of clusters, that is, if you consider the very strict closeness among the states, then you consider only 5% dissimilarity. So it is a rescaled actually. It is not the actual scale. That is, it is scaled down to 25. So if you consider the 5 point here, then you will find one cluster up to this. So the 4, 27, 11, 29, 22, 17, 16, 19, and up to here, Mizoram, one cluster. Then Tripura is totally different. Then after that, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab are similar. In that way, you can determine the clusters. If you don't have any bound to make 3 clusters or 4 clusters or 7 clusters or 10 clusters beforehand, you may choose the 5% of dissimilarities. That is in this scale. If you consider the cutoff point here, then you will find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clusters among the 29 states. If you want to get only 3 clusters, then you can allow up to this point. That is, Goa is one cluster, Maharashtra is one cluster. Then again, from here you can identify that in terms of banking infrastructure, Goa and Maharashtra are something different from the all other states in India. Right? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it prudent? Is it useful for your research study?
Yes, sir, it's useful.
This is all about the hierarchical cluster. You may use all these things. This is the first step of spatial econometrics, where space has some impact. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.